everyone. Welcome to the Daily Grind. My name is Kelly Johnson, and we are on episode 19. It's the very best one yet. So thanks for tuning in, and we are in December, as you know. If you are on a trivia night and they ask, what is the month of December known for? Well, here you go. So, gonna list the good, the bad, and the ugly, maybe, if you want to call it. So, National Car Donation Month, AIDS Awareness, National Pear, Bingo's birthday month, bingo, B6 or I-24 or however you want to call it, that game. I guess that's the month of December. You play bingo. National Drunk and Drug Driving 3D Prevention Month, National Human Rights Month, National Tie, if you wear a tie, National Write a Business Plan Month, Operation Santa Paws, Root Vegetables and Exotic Fruit Month, Safe Toys and Gifts Month, Spiritual Literacy Month, and Worldwide Food Service Safety Month. So I just kind of searched on national holidays and days and months of the year, and that's what came up on one of the first searches. So lots of ideas. Who knows what the national holidays will be for next year and the years to come. The list will probably grow to the different latest trends out there. So today I'm going to share a lot of interesting facts, lists, and items I've come across my daily grind throughout this year and throughout, I guess, right now, and hopefully inspire you to act upon this month or in the coming months. So it takes 21 days to make or break your habit, and I think if you go on a three-day streak, you're heading in the right direction. So I came across a could-do list for December, and this was taken from the Simple Things blog, which is reading on their backstory. The Simple Things is a published monthly blog post in print and digitally, and it's all about taking time to live well. So we celebrate slowing down, enjoying what we have, and making the most of where you live. And we like to share good food with friends and family, grow some of our own vegetables, visit local markets, rummage for vintage finds, and decorate our home with the plunder. We love being outdoors, micro adventures, forgotten wisdom, and satisfaction that comes with a job well done. Simple Things website blog I came across. Basically, it was started 5 years ago between three friends and colleagues that are working for one. They were working for one of the biggest published companies out there, and they believed there was a better way to create and publish magazines. So they thought where readers were as important as advertisers, where the paper quality and design were valued, and the words and pictures weren't always there to try to sell people stuff. They didn't portray perfection, and they didn't tell people what to do. It made them feel better, not worse. So this group of friends, they give up on their regular office jobs, and they plunged into their savings and borrowed the rest to set up their own publishing company called the Iceberg Press. And by the Simple Things, followed by 2 years later, they actually came out with Oh Comely, and now is reimagined as the O Magazine. So they launched Picks and Inks, which is another website to sell other publishers' independent, beautiful and useful magazines. So it's been a long ride for them, hard work, with, it says, the smell of every fresh printed issue in our hands is a note to ourselves to savor the good times. So here's the good times. I thought it was really great that they came up with a could do to-do list each month. This is one of they have each of these lists for months of the year. I came across December, obviously, since we are here in December. So I thought these are things you might want to do this month. In parentheses, it says no pressure. So maybe just take some ideas, like I mentioned before, and take some actions upon it in the next coming weeks, coming months. Your New Year's resolution, who knows? You never know. You think of something, you're in a different situation, and you can utilize it in some sort. So actually, a lot of these bullet points, I kind of tied into my own life, so I'll share that with you guys out there. So first one was take a nighttime walk to see the Christmas lights. Well, I checked that one off the list. If you all know, on my last episode, I mentioned my parents were in town in the city of Chicago, and we checked out the zoo lights at the Lincoln Park Zoo. So saw the Christmas lights. I actually see Christmas lights every day when I walk to and from work on Michigan Avenue. If I take that street, they have all the lights and the festivities decorated down in the city. And I know there's different parts, like I'm not even checking out the Chicago suburbs or other parts of Illinois with my busy schedule, but I know for a fact, for instance, like Cook County and also Lake County, they have different parks in different areas throughout the month that you can go and explore and check out the greatest lights out in that neck of the woods. So, and it's probably all across the country too. So feel free, listeners out there, to give a shout out to wherever you are located and maybe share a pic, tweet us your excitement for the holidays and what you're planning to do. So check that one off the list. Hopefully you do as well. Another one, remember your time is as valuable as any present. So that's a great quote in this could-do list. Spending time with family, friends, and coworkers is how I interpret it. So this week for me, we have a handful of holiday parties at my work. So I know I had a busy day for our first holiday party, but I made sure to get out of work just in time to get to the end of it at least. So it's always good to sit down with people that you work with, or even catch up with friends that you haven't seen in a while, and that's what I'm planning to do too once we get closer to Christmas, when I have time off, to visit people in Milwaukee that I haven't seen in a while, or touch base with college friends or other people that I've networked with, or people that I've just built up over the years as good family friends or just good colleagues. So I hope you do the same. And there's various activities you can do, not just on the month of December, but grab a cup of coffee, go out to dinner, go check out holiday lights, check off 2 bullet points in one, basically. So that was a great motivation there. Another one, aim to do 1 small act of kindness every day. So this is a biggie, I think. All small things really add up to big things, and I think if you try to aim to do 1 small act of kindness every day, I think that definitely makes a difference out there. Because if there's everyone around you that's surrounding you, if they do 1 small act, that just adds up. And then you get a lot of great people out there in the world, and hope them to do the same. So 1 small act of kindness that I've done recently, I'm trying to think of today, but today has just been a super big blur. I mean, I've definitely filled in via work in regards to being a team player and helping out with answering small questions that are outside of my, I guess, regular tasks and responsibilities. But from an outer perspective, I've held doors for people before. I know my latest one, it was more of a small act, was I was in a Lyft. If people use those ride-sharing apps, I was in Lyft, and I talked to this other guy when I was in Baltimore, and he was driving me to my hotel for the next day for interviews, and we were just talking about career things, and it sounds like he was looking to network and everything, so I gave him my business card. So, 1 small act, hopefully that makes a difference for him, or hopefully I've inspired him to, accomplish his own career goals out there. So that's just a small example of, there's a lot of things you can do from your own personal life or career life, and it does make a difference. It makes you feel good as well. So check that one off too, or hoping to do for the rest of the month. Another one, do things one at a time rather than multitasking. So what I took away from this bullet was focus. So sometimes you want to get as many things done as possible, and sometimes you should just focus on one item at a time, so you can dedicate the most to your audience or whatnot. So when I'm daily grinding, when I'm recording episodes for you guys out there, this is my number 1 focus, and I plan to do that every day, every episode that we release on the daily grind. So as I'm recording this episode, yeah, I'm not scrolling on my phone, going on Instagram, looking at this and that. My number 1 focus is you, the Daily Grind listeners. So check that one off. Replace perfect with good enough. So replace perfect with good enough. So sometimes you can imagine you have things on your to-do list, or when you're at work, or maybe when you're outside the office, participating in your own hobbies, or cooking dinner, or I don't know, just name some other activity that you do on a daily basis on your daily grind. What a good example of that I can replace perfect with good enough was post-turkey trot. We had a handful of leftover bananas from the race, and we didn't want to toss them out, but we want to make use of them. So when you think bananas, you think banana bread. So banana bread recipes, oh man, so many out there. When I bake, sometimes I don't have the measuring cup right near me, or sometimes it's not to the exact or perfection of the recipe. But when you cook or bake, things still turn out well, and they turn out satisfactory. So I'll still eat my banana bread that I made. So I replaced perfect in that situation with good enough. These bananas look good enough for me to bake, or this is about a fourth cup of sugar or whatever. So you don't want to be 100% perfectionist all the time. Sometimes there's wiggle room out there to make some adjustments. You don't feel all stressed out or pressured to be absolute perfect on this and that. Sometimes here or there is good enough, thus replace perfect with good enough. Second to last, sing, dance, play, and smile. So this one I thought was really cheery and perfect around the holidays, because around the holidays you spend a lot of family time with extended family. So I'll probably do the singing and dancing and playing and smiling more towards the holidays, when I spend time with my younger cousins, when we usually do board games or we listen to music or doing some singing and dancing, just kind of sporadically on how the night goes, basically. So when we celebrate. So yeah, that one's yet to come, almost there. And then finally, on their could-do list is write down what you really want this Christmas to be like and start from there. So this one's kind of funny because maybe I should start doing this now. Christmas list, I haven't really come about one. I like this time of year to be more of a giver than a receiver. So I've actually been on the opposite side in gathering all the gifts I'm going to give to some of my loved ones and family friends. This time of year too, I always make holiday cards. So if you're on my pen pal list or know of me and my celebrations for people's birthdays or holidays, I like to make homemade cards. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, feel free to contact me after this episode. If you tweet at me or Instagram DM message me, I'd be more than happy to send you a holiday card. This offer though expires. I would say, by December, let's say December 20th, 2019. So if you listen to this episode later or even next year, obviously Christmas is over, so I can't really send you a holiday card then. So hopefully you do it before the 20th. So we'll see how it goes. Well, another thing, my Christmas list early gift for me was Wisconsin getting into the Rose Bowl. So, update since our last episode on the college football conference championship results. So, mentioned we already knew Pac-12 when I recorded the previous episode. Oregon beat Utah 37-15. Big 12 championship game, Oklahoma over Baylor. SEC championship game, LSU over Georgia. ACC championship game, Clemson over Virginia. And then the Big Ten championship game, Ohio State unfortunately beat the Wisconsin Badgers. So good news is Badgers did with how they performed in that game, pretty much winning the first half. They were able to convince the committee to actually get them in a bigger and better bowl game. Selection Sunday was held. Actually, a little bit of backstory on the whole college football playoffs. The inaugural tournament was held at the end of 2014. The NCAA Division I football FBS football season was won by Ohio State Buckeyes, actually back in the day. So 5 years ago, throwback, they defeated Oregon in the championship game. And then after the first season, the playoff has been dominated basically by two teams, Alabama and Clemson. So Alabama is actually not in the playoffs this year. Clemson is in the mix, so they could win, but one of two has won every playoff except the first. And in 3 of the last 4 years, they've played each other in the championship game. In one other year, they've met in the semifinals. So that's an interesting fact. Good news is that actually there might be two new teams. I mean, Clemson, they are in the semifinals, but I'm not sure if they're going to make the final. They're seeded number 3 this year. how the CFP is held, it's based on a 13-member committee, and they select and seed the 4 teams to take part in the CFP. The system differs from the use of polls or computer rankings that they've previously used to select the participants for the Bowl Championship Series, or BCS as you call it. The title system was used in FBS from 98 to 2013, and the current format is a +1 system, idea that's been popular as an alternative to the BCF after the 2003 and 2004 seasons. So that's a little side note on the college football playoffs. Now let's get to the bowl schedule. I'll list down some of the bigger ones, or ones that I think are most notable, obviously. So we have, starting on December 28th, Chick-fil-A Bowl. Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is Oklahoma number 4 versus LSU number 1. The other semifinal is the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, and that's Clemson versus Ohio State. So Clemson number 3 and Ohio State number 2. And then the winners of both of those games play in the CFP National Championship, and that's held on Monday, January 13th at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Other bowl games to look out for with how the Big Ten conference resulted. At the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, we have Memphis versus Penn State. So Penn State fell to number 10. Then we have another big one out there, Capital One Orange Bowl. We have Florida number 9 versus Virginia number 24. And then finally, we have the big ones. We have Rose Bowl game, which is Oregon number 6 versus Wisconsin number 8. And then finally, All-State Sugar Bowl, Georgia number 5 versus Baylor number 7. So that's your bowl schedule for this year. I probably won't announce results with all these bowls in 2020, but this is just a follow-up to our previous episode, number 18. Reason why I touched on the bowl games too is since Wisconsin made the Rose Bowl, I plan to go to the Rose Bowl. I'm super pumped because I missed the Big Ten Championship, so I saved my cashola, as you call it, so I can go travel to this game. I'm super pumped because Rose Bowl, first, I've never been to, and second of all, Rose Bowl, I'd say the past couple Rose Bowls, Wisconsin actually hasn't won. So I feel like this year we actually have a chance against Oregon. So we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned. I'll probably talk about my travel details in the coming weeks on one of these future podcasts, or share my story down the road. So stay tuned for that. I'm super pumped for the trip. Still have to book all my flights and hotels and etc., but not worried at all. Just super pumped because it's on my calendar for sure. Another thing in this sharing and giving episode, I want to share my latest, what I'm reading or what I have read so far. When I travel, I try to crank out a book or two when I'm on flight or if I'm on the road or whatnot. Reading's great to do at night or in the evenings when you're trying to relax or right before you sleep. One of the latest books that I finished was How Bad Do You Want It? And it's Mastering the Psychology of Mind Over Muscle. This one's more of I'd say, performance athlete book. And it basically Coach Matt Fitzgerald talks about or examines more than like a dozen pivotal races to discover surprising ways like elite athletes strengthen their mental toughness. So it was really great to hear about, from Olympians to triathletes to runners to cyclists, like all over the place. And he puts it's pretty intense, and he puts a lot of, like, they call it pulse pounding action in more than like a dozen epic races from all those different sports, in the thrilling race reports and revealing post-race interviews with those elite athletes. In their own words, they reinforce what the research has found: strong mental fitness that lets us approach our true physical limits in giving us an edge over physically stronger competitors. So throughout the book, each of the chapters explores how and why an elite athlete's transformative moment, revealing powerful new psychobiological principles you can practice to flex your own mental fitness. So It comes from these real life examples of elite athletes and how you can actually strengthen your own mental fitness in a real life perspective. So I thought it was really interesting. It kind of motivated me, and it was cool to see. I'm really into sports autobiographies and learning how athletes strengthen themselves or perform well in both practice, training, and competition. So, How Bad Do You Want It by Matt Fitzgerald, I would recommend. Faith in your training as important as the training itself. There's a lot of great quotes in there too. Training does take a lot. I guess transitioning into that update on my marathon training. So from my last episode, I said I have a long run, 2 short runs. I actually did skip my long run. Me just feeling what my body's feeling, and so I don't want to be injury prone. I was a little sore over the weekend, so I actually just did cross training instead. I wouldn't say shin splint, but I have somewhat of a similar feeling or soreness in my legs, so I just kind of been icing it, ibuprofen, and doing a lot of cross training in the gym and on the bike. So I'm taking it easy. As you know, I've did my longest run, so I have put the mileage in, and this is the final week of tapering. So I'm still excited. I feel like I'm going to try to run 100% or to the closest capability right now. So getting closer to my race as we go onward with this podcast and the endless year. Also excited to finish. I have one more book I want to share with you guys. Finished this book on my flight to New Orleans and Biloxi, Mississippi for my trip. It's called The Power of Moments, Why Certain Experiences Have Extraordinary Impact. And this is by the best-selling authors, Chip Heath. He's been, they've wrote 2 other great books that I think I'm eventually going to read down the road. One is called Switch, How to Change Things When Change is Hard, and Made to Stick, Why Some Ideas Survive and Others Die. They write a lot. These 2 authors write books on business, money, management, and leadership. So this one on The Power of Moments, it basically talks about why human lives are endlessly variable, and our most memorable positive moments are dominated by 4 elements: elevation, insight, pride, and connection. You can think of that as epic. And so when we embrace these epic elements, we can conjure more moments that matter. So what if a teacher could design a lesson that he knew his students would remember 20 years later? What if a manager knew how to create an experience that would delight customers? What if you had a better sense of how to create memories that matter for your children? So this book really dives into some fascinating mysteries of experience, such as why we tend to remember the best or worst moment of an experience, as well as the last moment, and forget the rest. Why we feel most comfortable when things are certain, but we feel most alive when they're not, and why our most cherished memories are clustered into a brief period during our youth. So readers discover how brief experiences can change lives, such as an experiment in which 2 strangers meet in a room and then 45 minutes later they leave as best friends. So what happens in that time? Or the tale of the world's youngest female billionaire who credits her resilience to something her father asked the family at the dinner table. What was that simple question? So many defining moments in their lives are a result by accident or luck, or why do we leave our most memorable moments to chance when we can create them? So The Power of Moments really shows us how to be the author of those richer experiences. So I'm more than halfway through, got 100 pages left, so I'll probably crank that out before I land. I hope to do so. Like I mentioned before, really great. Those are 2 really good books. One of them more sports oriented. This one's more business management, leadership-ish theme. So really great. Continuing on, another thing I discovered across, or I guess on my to-do list so far, or could-do list, or add-on, Amazon Smile. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but Amazon Smile, it's smile.amazon.com. I came across this because recently there was Giving Tuesday, hashtag Giving Tuesday happened in December, and basically I thought I could do this with my nonprofit, the Kelly Johnson Foundation. So I just registered the Kelly Johnson Foundation on Amazon Smile. So what it does is Amazon donates 0.5% of the price of your eligible Amazon Smile purchases to the charitable organization of your choice. So Amazon Smile is the same Amazon, same product, same prices, same service. You can just support your charity organization by starting your shopping at that website. So I think it's a really great program that Amazon offers to way to give back to different organizations in the community around you, or just nationally or in general. And on my end, from a nonprofit perspective, it was super easy to register. I think it took me less than like 10 minutes to input all my information, link it up, and then they actually provide different, I guess they call it marketing tools, or so you can share it on your social media, website, and send out an email to people out there with the link. And I think there's other websites that are starting to do that now too, where you can donate to a charitable cause at checkout, or they donate a certain percentage towards a certain nonprofit, which is great. So shout out to the Kelly Johnson Foundation. If you listeners out there shop on Amazon, definitely choose Kelly Johnson Foundation as a cause to support, because it definitely helps support our mission, which is to provide extracurricular and scholarship support to local high schools in Wisconsin and Illinois, and we're growing to many more states and many more schools. And with your support, you really make a difference out there. I'll tell you that for sure. So Amazon Smile, hashtag share your smile. As we close to end of our episode, I want to give you guys a word of the day. Key quote for today is consistency is the key to success. So consistency is the key to success because we are back on track. I feel like it reminds me of Ritmo by the Black Eyed Peas. This is the rhythm. So that song is stuck in my head. It will be stuck in yours too eventually. But consistency, going back to consistency, you want to stay on track and you want to keep focus. And in order to do that, you need to develop a rhythm so you continually do something on a regular basis, whether it's a habit or whether it's trying to take small steps to accomplish your big goal down the road. Being consistent in what you do and your approach is a key to your success. So there you have it. I want to say thanks again for tuning in today's episode. When it comes to sharing my story with you and the ways to follow the daily grind, check out our website at www.kjfwi.org/thedailygrind, all hyphenated. Listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and check out all of our episodes and even leave a review. Questions and comments, hit me up on Twitter, tweet at KellyJLefty, and finally Instagram DM me at the same handle as well, at KellyJLefttime. Thank you again, and have a great day.